Assalamu alaikum everyone. In congenital heart defects, today we are going to talk about cyanotic heart diseases. The most common one is tetralogy of Fallot. Tetra means four, so this defect has basically four components. The first component is, as you can see here, that in this diagram, this one is the normal heart and this one is the tetralogy of Fallot. The first important component is infundibular stenosis or pulmonary stenosis. Due to this stenosis, there is a right ventricular hypertrophy because of more pressure in the right ventricle. And the other important defect is ventricular septal defect. As you can see here, there is a gap in this ventricular septum and there is overriding of aorta. So basically these four components, that is, the first one is pulmonary stenosis, due to which there is a right ventricular hypertrophy and ventricular septal defect, and the last one is overriding or dextroposition of aorta. Components of tetralogy of Fallot, that is right ventricular outflow obstruction or pulmonary stenosis, due to which there is a right ventricular hypertrophy, and ventricular septal defect and dextroposition of the aorta. These basically four components of tetralogy of Fallot. Now come to its pathophysiology. Due to there is outflow obstruction and which leads to the hypertrophy of the right ventricle, and there is, due to obstruction, there is less blood flow to the pulmonary circulation and there is a more blood flow from the right ventricle enters into the left ventricle. So more amount of deoxygenated blood due to right to left ventricular shunting, there is a more deoxygenated blood enters into the aorta and ultimately into the circulates in the whole body. And the main pathology here is this, that there is decreased oxygen supply to the viscera, which leads to hypoxia as well as cyanosis. Due to less oxygenated blood, there is a hypoxia to the tissues, and which leads to syncope as well in very severe cases, and there is a cyanosis. This cyanosis or bluish discoloration is because of the less oxygenated hemoglobin or more deoxyhemoglobin more than 5 gram. So this was the pathophysiology. Now come to the clinical manifestation. Rarely pink tetralogy of Fallot occur in some patients, which means that no cyanosis occurs in these cases. It is because of absence of pulmonary stenosis. So the other important clinical typical features include cyanosis, as we have discussed previously, that is bluish discoloration of skin because of more deoxyhemoglobin more than 5 gram, and clubbing of the finger occurs because of the hypoxia to the tissues. And squatting position in the walking children, the children loves to walk in the squatting position because of less preload on the heart during this position and more systemic resistance. Due to there is more systemic resistance, and this more systemic resistance leads to less shunting of blood from right ventricle into the left ventricle. So more blood enters into the pulmonary circulation in the squatting position or in the sitting position. So this position is very favorable as well, very favorable for these patients. And the other features include paroxysmal hypercyanotic attacks. These occurs in some patients. These are known as hypoxic spells. These are very severe attack and occurs in very young children, that is less than 2 years of age, especially during the feeding. Due to less oxygenated blood enters into the circulation, so this less oxygenated blood when or hypoxia to the brain can cause syncope in these children. And there is an important feature, that is cyclic ejection murmur. This cyclic ejection murmur occurs during the cyclic phase because of stenosis of or the infundibular stenosis or the pulmonary stenosis during the cyclic phase. So this is the important feature, is cyclic ejection murmur. There is delayed growth or there is less growth and less development because of poor nutrition, as well as more consumption of oxygen can lead to delayed growth and growth retardation. There is a single second heart sound. As we know that there are two components of the second heart sound, the one is aortic and the second one is pulmonary. So here, due to the pulmonary stenosis, the one component of the second heart sound is absent in these cases because of the infundibular or the pulmonary stenosis. So these are the clinical features. Now come to the diagnosis. Chest x-ray is very important. It shows the narrow base and uplifted apex of the heart. This narrow base is due to less vascularity to the pulmonary tissues or less or oligo pulmonary circulation. So it causes narrow base. And there is boot shaped heart. This is a characteristic or the typical feature of the cyanotic heart disease, especially the tetralogy of Fallot, and decreased pulmonary vascularity as we have discussed previously, and right sided aortic arch because of dextroposition in 20% of the cases. So these are the clinical chest x-ray findings. The other findings in the ECG, that is right ventricular hypertrophy or right axis deviation, and the echocardiogram is diagnostic as it shows the ventricular septal defect, high pressure in the right sided ventricle, and there is pulmonary stenosis. So it basically gives all the four features of tetralogy of Fallot. So echocardiogram is very important. The complications include cerebral thrombosis secondary to the anemia in the when the age is less than 2 years of age, and the brain abscesses when the age of the patient is more than 2 years. Infective endocarditis because of right to left ventricular shunt. These patients are more prone to develop the infective endocarditis. Polycythemia. This is basically a compensatory mechanism when there is a hypoxia or less oxygen supply to the tissues. As a result, there is a release of erythropoietin from the kidneys, which stimulates the process of erythropoiesis. So these are the diagnostic different methods. Now come to its treatment, the medical treatment and the surgical treatment. When there is a severe outflow obstruction, give the patient prostaglandin E1 infusion. Prevent the dehydration as because of the poor nourishment in these children, and there is a partial exchange of transfusion is also important step. Give the patient oral propranolol. It is a beta blocker for the TET spells or the hypoxic spells, as we have discussed previously. Because of less perfusion to the brain, the syncope occurs in these children, which are called TET spells or hypoxic spells in these children. So this basically propranolol relieves the infundibular stenosis partially and relieves the symptom in these children. Surgery includes Belalek, in temporary cases, Belalek Taussig operation, which is basically a communication, artificial communication is created between the pulmonary vessels and the subclavian arteries. So the systemic blood enters into the pulmonary circulation. So it favors the oxygenation of the blood. In temporary, it is a temporary procedure. For the complete correction, there is a total correction must be needed in these patients before school going age, that is correction of the ventricular septal defect, opening of the infundibular or the pulmonary stenosis. So it leads to increase oxygen into the blood, so there is more function of the pulmonary circulation which leads to oxygenation of blood. So now, as you can see in this X-ray, this was in the typical feature of the boot shape heart in these patients. This is a typical feature of the tetralogy of Fallot. So this was whole about the tetralogy of Fallot. Thank you so much for watching this video.